Here we go. This one. Is that it? That's got to be it. Okay, so it's got to be this Shaolin headbutt. Yeah, if you look at the replay on your profile, there'll be like a replay ID, like a code, right? And then you can just share that code to give people a direct link to the replay. All right, let's watch this. Let us watch. So, Ken vs. Birdie is a little rough, but I don't think it's so bad. I don't think it's so bad for Ken, right? Let's just see the approach here. You want to be careful with Fireball. Oh, let me turn on the inputs. Okay, let's... how do we restart it? Okay. Opening dash. Aggressive approach. Throw. Chillin'. Heavy kick. Good DP. V reversal. Tatsu attempt. Grab. Wake up EX. Maybe a DP? No confirm. Okay, good confirm. Oki. Activation. Good jump again. Okay, so let's just watch it through the first time just to get the lay of the land, right? I think when you watch a replay, you should always just watch it one time just to absorb everything that's happening, right? Just to get an idea for what's going on. Okay, big jump in. Oh. Okay, that was wild. Okay. Oh man, setup. I don't know. That was a big punish, or a big punish opportunity. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Final round. Fight.
Hadouken. Okay, he's going for that hop grab a lot. Oh, that's unfortunate for Birdie. Okay, fainting. Wow. Nice anti-air. Okay. So there's some fireballs in situations which you wouldn't usually look for a fireball in. Maybe those are just input errors. We'll have to double check. Okay, so let's watch this first from Ken's perspective, right? So as Ken versus Birdie, there's a few things we're looking out for, right? Is he has a range like where his standing fierce is and his standing medium punch is Birdie's. Those ranges are difficult to deal with and pretty dangerous for Ken. Birdie also has some pretty decent ways to punish Fireball, right? But I think it's still important to use Fireball against Birdie, because if you don't, you really don't have any, like, too much options. So the Fireball as a poke is really powerful here because it makes up for Ken's weakness in the mid-range. So the distance you're looking to hold against Birdie is probably just outside of his standing heavy punch range, right? The two hands, right? That one. Probably looking just to hang out right there and looking to be careful to avoid zonks and forward hard punches, right? And we know that Birdie is gonna be swinging normals, right? Cause so if we maintain that hard punch distance, he can zonk, like the zonk, right? Or he could forward fierce, or he could yahoo, he could slide. So those are the threats at that distance if Ken is using Fireball. And in general, we know that Birdie has really good normal attacks, so he's looking to swing, right? Like, definitely Birdie is looking to go first and swing his normal attacks. So how can that inform our strategy overall, right? Like, what about that can inform our strategy overall? Well, if we know Birdie's looking to go first, and we know that our normals can't really compete at the same range, we can just back up a little bit and use our Fireball as a poke. And as we use our Fireball as a poke, we have to watch out for him swinging something to either get around Fireball or when we attempt to move forward. So I would say that versus Birdie, it's important to very, very carefully use your forward movement. If you're just moving forward or not even just forward movement, but movement in any direction, you want to be careful because he's already encouraged just to swing. He's just gonna medium punch, roundhouse, right? He's always gonna be going for something. So I think at the very beginning here, you go for an aggressive dash, which is not like, okay, you got to start with something, right? But I think versus Birdie, in general, this dash is probably always going to get checked versus most Birdie players because, you know, they're already looking out for throwing buttons, right? So all of this forward movement at the very beginning, it could possibly work, but I don't know if this is like the strongest strategy to start with versus Birdie, right? Because immediately he checks the dash, right? And then he goes for a button again, right? You attempt to move, right? This is what I was talking about. You see how he does that down medium kick? He checked your dash, and you go to move, and you get clipped again, right? So here's a roundhouse here. That's just a missed roundhouse. Okay, he goes for a grab. This is a hard check, honestly. That right there. He dashes up. Ideally, that's a big chance for damage, right? Because if someone dashes at you, it's like a miniature jump, right? Because when you dash, you can't block. It's the same as jumping. When you dash, you can't block. So there's the same risk. And it's even more risky because you get a full grounded combo, right? So this, when he dashes forward, is a big chance for damage because you could just jab into target combo. But that's hard to check. But that's one thing we got to be looking out for, right? If a player immediately presents the threat of them dashing in, you got to go, okay, this is a chance for me to get damage. Let me get ready to react to that in the future again. Okay, so Birdie gets Oki here, blocking. Okay, he's pushed himself out. What's the next decision? A button, right? I think he uses his down hard punch. I think at this distance, right, when we get pushed away here, if I was Ken, what I would attempt to do is back up and use the Fireball. I think that's a little bit stronger in this situation, or even just use the Fireball from this distance in general, because if you go for a normal, you're not going to be able to hit him because he's so far away, right? The only thing we can use to touch him is like Fireball. And he's just going to swing empty normals because he's Birdie. Oh, that's unfortunate. Mistimed anti-error there. Okay, not a bad V reversal. Jumping at Birdie is really hard to do. But it's not bad to test it out. So one jump is like not the end of the EX Fireball is a good way to get out of the corner, but in that situation is a little bit curious, I think. Alright, so how do we... I gotta learn how to do that. Okay. Alright, so we block a normal. He grabs, right? He grabs. After the grab, he gets a chance to hit us on Wake Up. What do we do? Reversal EX Fireball. I'm not sure this is the best way to spend meter. Because usually when you use the EX Fireball, it's because it has really good pushback, right? But if we do it on reversal, especially in a situation where he gets Oki on us, it's going to be tough to utilize the Fireball's strengths, right? I don't know. This could have been an uppercut attempt, but I'm not so sure. I think in this situation, probably something a little bit stronger would have been to wait, delay a normal attack, right? So wait, block his meaty if it comes, and then do a delayed normal attack to touch him on block, and then cancel that into Fireball. And he would have gotten pushed back much further. Okay, so there's a punish opportunity. This is just a missed punish. The run there you can confirm into Hurricane Kick, but maybe you're looking for back throw, right? For Ken to do a back throw here would be really good because his health is super low and Birdie's health is super high. So Ken needs to do something to get an extreme advantage, right? And one of the ways Ken can get a good advantage is to put Birdie in the corner. So a back throw attempt here, I don't think is strategically like super suboptimal, but you definitely want to take the damage as it arises, right? So he goes for the throw. We have this. We get plus frames, but we don't do anything with it. We're plus. We could have pressed stand medium kick there, or stand medium punch rather, or anything because we're plus there. But he just steals his turn back, right? Now opportunity for a really big punish. We can target combo here or anything we want, right? He's super minus. We get the start the punish. This could be Tatsu, but went for a throw. I don't think the throw is like a super bad idea, but I think given the circumstance, it's probably a little bit better to go for the guaranteed damage, right? It's kind of tricky when your health is really low because you're trying to make a comeback, but we have our V trigger on deck, right? V trigger is stocked. So if we went for guaranteed damage, knocked him down, and then went for a setup, we would have been able to activate our V trigger at least, right? You never really want to die with V trigger ready. So looking at this situation, right? Let's go back and look at this again. Okay, so that's all weird. But we get this, and then here's this throw tech, right? Looking at this situation, probably what we should have been doing is confirming that punish either into an activation or a regular combo, and then look for a way to activate. Because we need to make a comeback, and if we use our V trigger resource, we'll probably put him in the other corner anyway, right? So strategically, a back throw here might have been a cheeky reset, and it would have been good, but we have safer, easier to implement options when we have our V trigger, right? So when we have our V trigger, we're definitely looking for that activation route. Yo, what's up, Mike Ross Forever? I see you. You have replays? Sure, man. I see you. What is this fan fiction? I don't know about this. Oh man. Well, what's up, yo? I see you. Okay, so what's our next situation? chilling, respectable. Yeah, there's a big punish opportunity there. There's that roundhouse again. There's been a couple times where Ken has gone for this roundhouse, and the roundhouse is just completely whiffed. This move is a little bit difficult to space out, but it's not super impossible. You really... This roundhouse is not a super strong move to rely on, but this is probably an activation attempt, right? We can see in the input display that this is an activation attempt, which is not super bad to attempt to activate here, right? Because activation will push us out of the corner, but if you want to use a slow move, it's generally better to activate off of a fireball or to only activate when you confirm to hit. If you activate off of roundhouse, it's a little bit of a waste of resources. You'll see a lot of Ken players activate off roundhouse, and I'm of the opinion that that's extremely suboptimal. Like, that's such a waste of the V-trigger. Really, you want to do, like, a down medium punch, fireball, activate, or anything, right? At this point, you're just fishing. Yeah, this is true. I would agree with that after observing this. But we got to think again, like, okay, what's Birdie looking for, right? He's definitely going to be poking at us. He's going to be going first. He's looking to walk forward a little bit or maybe get around our fireball, right? He's looking to use those really good normals. So in this matchup, the last thing I would do is like attempt to swing at Birdie haphazardly, right? Yo, what's up, Mofosny? I see you. What's good? Ryu's not mid-tier? I don't know. Ryu's pretty low tier, my guy. What's up? Okay. So here's another activation attempt off of the slow roundhouse, right? If we activate, actually, let's look up. Let's look it up. We have the power. We have the Ken guide right here. We have the power. Let's look up what the activation is on block for roundhouse. Okay, here we go. Reference. We're looking for reference. We're looking for heat rush cancel. Heat rush. So if we're stand hard kick, we're +3 on block, right? Stand hard kick is +3 on block. But remember, stand hard kick is really slow. It does go far, but it's kind of slow. It's only +3, right? But say if we do stand medium punch, we could be +5 off of just stand medium punch raw, right? Almost the same distance, right? Stand medium punch is one of our longer pokes. But if we do fireball, +14. So when you activate as Ken, right? You want to try to activate off of a fireball on block, right? This is so good, especially if you can do EX fireball on block, because this is going to be +21, which means that you can frame trap them with your thunder kick overhead, right? Which means you have a real high-low threat. You have a real threat of faint low or true overhead, and the overhead will defeat 3-frame attacks. So activating off of the roundhouse, I don't think is like exactly the best option, right? Because just compare our power, right? So roundhouse is powerful on hit. Roundhouse is powerful on hit, but on block it's only +3. So if we use standing medium punch or standing hard punch, which are both long pokes and faster than roundhouse, they don't go quite as far, right? But they're longer, and you can even use your standing medium kick as Ken, right? And those are all better raw on block than roundhouse. So the risk of roundhouse, right? That slow winding opens you up to a jump in attack, big recovery normal. It's not even that good on block to activate. It's only +3. Whereas you could do a faster normal, right, with a slightly better hitbox, like one of these, and you could cancel it into fireball. You can even do stand medium kick, stand hard kick, target combo, fireball, right? You want to special cancel to fireball, boom, plus 14. So you can advance very far forward, right? Yeah, if you did stand strong, V-trigger activation, you're plus 21. And when after EX fireball, you're plus 21, you have a real threat of feint. Like, you can thunder kick feint and go low, and you can threaten that, or you can threaten the overhead, and they will defeat attempts at them reversing because you're so plus on block, right? So whenever you activate, no matter what, you usually want to get into some type of fireball on block, because you can activate Ken's fireball from very, very far away, right? Like, you can just Hadouken and activate from like pretty far. So you want to try to do this. Just doing stand hard kick into activation is not only super risky, it's also not super buff, right? You want to do a button into fireball. That's the ideal activation route here. Okay, so let's go back to battle. Okay, so let's be kind, rewind. Okay, so we miss our punish. We go for the back throw. This could be a reset, but I think the better thing here is to try to use our V-bar or get a combo into a situation where we can get our V-bar, because our comeback is immense, right? Okay, so activation attempt. We know we now know that a more optimal thing there is to try to go for a fireball, like stand medium punch fireball. Much faster, much safer, much stronger on block. Okay, another activation attempt. Birdie does this. Okay, he jumps, right? Okay, we get the punish. Alright. Now, let's see. What's our Oki? Okay, low short. That's not bad. I do not disagree with this. This is, if you hit him, right, you get another combo, he's in the corner. Okay, we got two shorts. In this situation, I would attempt to activate V-trigger. I would cancel one of these and try to activate. So you go for the roundhouse, not bad, but we're only plus 3. The V-trigger gives us extended pressure, which is going to enhance our comeback factor, right? I don't agree with that neutral jump. Let's look at this, right? Okay, so we have a chance to activate here. We go for roundhouse. Not the best, but still activated. It would be best if we could get it on hit, but because he blocked our low, this is not the end of the world, right? Because we want the V-trigger on. We want our V-trigger on. So we're just kind of taking what we can get here, right? Okay. This jump, we're plus 3, and we know that Birdie has the good AA, right? Like, what does every Birdie player do? I play Birdie. And they just flick their mohawk, right? Medium punch. So this, it could have had a big payoff, but the risk is also really big, because he could have done an anti-air into death, right? He could have killed you. He could have V-trigger 2 activated and killed you right here. So if we're plus 3, it's probably a little bit more optimal to go for a frame trap, a throw bait, or a throw, right? And we haven't had many offensive situations. So mounting offense here is probably really tricky, because this is the first time we get to see what he's doing on defense, right? So we look, he didn't get up, right? And then we know that he just blocked, right? So we just see him blocking. He didn't press a button right away or anything like that. Okay, we activate. And then we jump. That decision is not only uninformed because we don't have any observations yet. Like, we haven't had a chance to get a read yet. but also that's probably the most risky thing you could have done. And thinking about it, you know, all right, look, the comeback is huge. He has a lot of health. We need to do something risky, right? Yeah, the birdie could have activated V-Trigger too, right? So, you know, we do need to do something risky, but I don't think this is it. I think it's better because you got to remember, the game is not round by round. It's first to 2. So we can use this to find information. Yo, what's up, Lurks? Is there a line? I'm not sure. Just send me the replay ID, and I'll get to it when we get to it. I think Mike Ross Forever has one he wants to get looked at. So even though we need to be risky here, this is probably not the best informed decision. Because remember, we're only on round 1, so we still have time not to while out. We don't have to while out, right? We could have tried to throw him, or gone for a frame trap, or even like a throw bait. Okay, and then he goes low there. You just get clipped. That's tough looks. It's kind of hard to defend there because you might want to get away from throw, right? Okay, so the first game we tried to be really aggressive, and he immediately checked us with his normal attacks, right? So is there a difference? Okay, we're much less aggressive, right? This is a good sign to show that, like, oh, okay, you're definitely thinking about the situation, right? Like, you're watching and adapting. So that's really good. I think this is also a well-placed fireball. This matchup is difficult, but the whole thing, I believe, revolves around this distance. Now, this is just my opinion about the birdie matchup, but this distance is a critical distance. You want to play that game where you force him to attempt to zonk, forward hard punch, or slide, because all of those are risky for him as well. It might be really hard to deal with, but if you can keep him at this distance, he has to take some risk, right? And if he attempts to walk forward at this distance, like to just circumnavigate, he tries to move by either walking forward or jumping or something like that, well, now we're in control because he just walked into range of our normal attacks and our anti-airs and things like that, right? So if we can maintain this distance and force birdie to decide between using an unsafe fireball evasion or having to walk or dash or jump, we can better control the situation. It's still really difficult, but this is what I believe the critical distance in the matchup. So I think that fireball is really well placed. Okay, we attempt to be aggressive again, and he throws out his normals. And he throws another one, right? And that's a birdie thing. So we definitely need to remember to be looking out for that. Okay, big jump. What's the Oki? We know last time he just blocked, right? So run up, and then we don't do anything. I'm not so sure about that because the last time we know he just blocked. He does have full CA, but it's really early in the round, right? So even if he does like wake up CA, going for a meaty here, this is just such a big missed opportunity, you know, because what is he going to do? CA, and then we're going to have our V-Trigger, and we're going to have full bar, right? Okay, low attacks again. Doing low short, low medium kick, not a bad frame trap. That's a pretty good frame trap, especially for people who like to walk backwards. This is the second time we've approached him, and this is the second time we've seen him just block. Okay, big jump. He got anti-air. Okay, so we've jumped twice, and we hit him once. The question is, do you believe in his AAs enough? Right? In this situation, it's up to Ken to make the decision, like, is this guy really going to AA me? Or am I going to get these jump-ins and take off half of his health bar? Right? I don't necessarily agree with the jumps because we have seen that he's done the medium punch. Actually, this is the third time because we tried to jump in the left corner. Remember, we tried to jump out and he medium punched us? And then we tried a neutral jump and he medium punched us. And then we got one jump in, but then we tried to jump again and he medium punched us. So we're 1 out of 4. We only have a 25% success rate here. So I don't know about these jumpings. All right. I mean, they're not like killing you, but they're super dangerous. So this is just a tough thing to do, but you must always be ready to reactionarily anti-air. In Street Fighter, especially Street Fighter 5, because jumping is so strong, you really need to be ready to reactionary anti-air. Like, it needs to be subconscious. So, you know, this jump he performs here is kind of wild, right? I think from him, this is a little bit of an uninformed jump. There's no way around it. You just need to AA. Like, if Daigo, if this was Daigo, he would have just been like that switch in his brain would have went off and the AA would have came out. Right here, you can use heavy uppercut. This is the distance where heavy uppercut is a good AA. Okay, so he just surprise EXs. Is it hard to consistently anti-air? It is. It is. Like, don't beat yourself up about it. I mean, even like Tokido has been on record saying, like, yeah, anti-airing is hard. I still work on it every day. You know, so even like the best players are still trying to manage that balance between, okay, I want to space this. I'm looking for this. He did this before. What's my next setup? What am I trying to do? What's the meter? Oh, he jumped. Right? Even the best players in the world are still struggle with that. So don't beat yourself up too bad. But the hard truth of it is that whenever somebody jumps, you just need to be ready. Especially if you're armed with uppercut, because that's one of the best options to AA with, right? How do you send a replay? You can give me your CFN and I can look it up for you. Like, you can give me a CFN and then you can tell me what match it was. Or there should be a replay ID on the replay, right? Yeah, Micros Forever is in fact next. Okay. Banana. All right. I would really like to see more Fireball. You're staying out of the distance for his moves, and I think that's good. You want to maintain that sort of space. Oh, nice. Okay. Unfortunate. He just goes immediately for the Fireball punish, or the evasion rather. That's hard to read. That was a hard to read. Not sure he reacted, but this is good information. This is important information. We want to note this down. After we threw one Fireball, he immediately tried to get around the next one, right? So we could use this for baiting him in the future. We can change up our pattern, right? We can Fireball, wait, and we know he's antsy to get around the next one. So we can just set up that spacing again, throw it, and then maybe bait him. That's something that's really important to pay attention to. Not just for the Birdie matchup, but like players in general, right? Okay, knocks us down. Big grab. This is hard to react to. Okay, we block this. There's that roundhouse again, right? Looking for the activate. This is really a consistent thing. We've gone for the roundhouse activate a couple times, and he's always just swung a crazy normal and it's clipped us because roundhouse is really slow, right? Okay, there's a jump. It didn't get AA'd, but that's a questionable jump, right? Now we're just looking for the Hail Mary. Okay, roundhouse activate. Much better activation sequence. A much better activation sequence, right? Okay. All right, we could have went for a punish here, but the jab... The jab shows the attempt, but really, when this happens, we need to just straight up target combo. Right? Back medium punch, or just straight up heavy uppercut will also work here if you're cautious of the spacing. You can just stand light kick, heavy uppercut. It'll work every time. All right, activate. So we're plus, right? We're +3. Off of this activation, we're +3, which means we get to frame trap with our light normals, or a grab, right? That's what's really powerful here, because if we threaten the grab or we threaten the frame trap, right, we can not only do it and then see what their reaction is, but the threat of it is also super powerful. So say, for example, we grabbed them last time and we saw they have a tendency to tech. Now we can shimmy here, right? Or now we can frame trap, right? Those are our best options, is to threaten grab or threaten frame trap. And you go for the frame trap, which is good. Okay, we get Oki, and we know he just blocked, right? The last few times we saw, he had just blocked, right? Okay, so here's the low. This is the rare not blocking from him, right? I guess he tries to block high, but this overhead is actually not. This threat of feint, it's already over. The feint is actually already over before he's even up. So if Birdie was more aware, he would have blocked low here, because the threat of overhead is long gone before you can hit him like now, right? Okay, so he gets hit. We get a big corner combo here. We get 2 DPs, right? Ah, that's rough. Okay, the back throw off of the scramble. Again, there's a jump. I don't necessarily agree with this jump, especially because it's into the corner, right? Now, here, you could have gone for cross-up hurricane kick, which is extremely powerful in V-trigger mode, but going into the corner when we've already had a tough time keeping Birdie off of us is big risky. So, fierce whiffs, big scramble. We get the throw. He tries to go for EX. Okay, meaty. He just blocks. Okay, not bad. Frame trap. I do not agree with that dash. So let's look back here. Right. So we get the meaty. We have a chance for a frame trap, right? Okay, so you just go for EX fireball. In this situation, you could have done down medium punch, back medium punch, threaten. So you could have done down medium, back medium, which is a frame trap. After back medium punch, Ken is 0, and he's still really close. So you can make the threat of a micro walk, like just hold forward grab, or you can make the threat of doing the delayed target combo. And if you're already set on spending an EX bar, you make yourself safe and you keep yourself really close. So going for immediate fireball here it's like cashing out of the situation early. There's a lot more pressure we could have applied here, but you chose to skip it, right? So we want to, in this situation, what we wanted to, or what would have been optimal to pressure with would have been a down medium punch to a back medium punch. Now you can threaten throw or frame trap. You have a mix-up here, right? You're applying the mix-up here. Then you can go for the fierce and still keep yourself safe and close. And this situation loops back into itself. So if you wanted to keep frame trapping him, you could, as long as you had meter, right? So this jab, this could have been a back medium punch, right? But this cashes us out of the situation. So now we're out. We have to take a risk again, a big risk to get back in. We dash? I don't know, because remember, to the previous rounds, whenever we tried to move forward, we usually got clipped with a normal. Most of the time it was his down jab, right? So we got to think like, all right, what's our next option here? We definitely don't want to do the thing he was beating us up for, right? We definitely don't want to do that. So getting away with this dash here is kind of wild, because usually he was pretty good at checking him. Whether or not he was just pressing normals errantly and getting the checks is neither here nor there, right? Because we know that either it doesn't matter. Why does not matter. This is a big the win, not why, is a big concept that like helps a lot, especially online. Is make observations as to what your opponent does and remember when they did it, right? So for example, if I throw one fireball and he immediately tries to do a fireball evasion, I know when, right? If I try to ask why, I'm gonna waste a lot of mental resources and probably get pretty salty, because this guy's cousin's mother's son's friend's dog's girlfriend, right, could always just do 5 fireballs in a row, and so no matter what, he just automatically responds with chain or EX jumper or something crazy like that, right? And or like he could wake up with roundhouse or something crazy, right? Because he has some misinformation or some weird thought in his head. And for us to figure out why he does that is like a super complex task. We'd have to know about this person and all this crazy stuff. But we can always say when, right? We know the stimulus we apply to our opponent, right? Every action you take, even standing still, is gonna affect the game state, and your opponent is observing that, right? So it's gonna cause them to have a response, right? Why that response is generally irrelevant. All we need to know is when, because we apply the stimulus, right? So we affect the game state. Then we know after that game state, your opponent reacted in this way. This was their reaction to that stimulus, right? We know when, right? When this happens, cause, effect, right? Trying to figure out why is basically like trusting your opponent to be on the same page as you. And we all know, especially online, that that doesn't happen. So ask when, not why. And not to get too far away from analyzing our replay here, but you might, you know, that leads to the question like, well, what about conditioning my opponent? Well, you can condition the opponent asking when, not why, right? We apply our stimulus, we observe our response. We continually test our stimulus to see if the response is the same. When we are confident that the response will be the same, we can go for our red action, our read, right? And preemptively counter the response. But this whole time we're going, okay, stimulus, response, when, and we're observing. So as long as we're consciously observing, we can see when their response changes, and why their response changed will not affect our strategy, and it will not have a strong effect on us being able to perform this conditioning, this observation, right? Our whole stimulus response is not affected by why. If we throw 5 fireballs and then they start jumping, right? We go, okay, fireball. When I throw fireball, they jump, right? It just happens again. It heals, it corrects itself, so to speak. So most of the time, asking why or trying to come up with like a clever reason as to why something happened is just a waste of resources in the match, right? So anyway, to bring that back to this, we know that when we had a chance to dash at our opponent, and we did, when we dashed, we took damage, right? So whether or not he's just crazily throwing out normals or not is a little bit irrelevant. We just know that when we dashed, we took damage. So we should probably avoid that. That's probably the riskiest thing we could have done here. Not to mention that the pressure we performed here, we cashed out a little bit early. We could have got a lot more pressure off of this, but we just chose not the best option. Okay, tick throw, not bad, because when we pressured him, we know he has a tendency to block, right? Okay, so he teched that. What should we do here? This is a really tricky situation, but we have a big chance, right? He's in the corner. He has V-trigger, and he has 1 bar. What do we know about birdie players, right? They want to activate. That EX fireball not a bad decision, because there's a high-ass chance of him just doing EX headbutt right there, right? Okay, feint. Big, risky feint, but we know he just blocks. He has never shown us a tendency to contest, so I don't think this throw is a bad idea. This was a well-placed throw, right? Okay, now here's our chance. We can get a media attack here because we're in the corner. We can manually time a true media attack here, but he still has EX and he still has V-trigger. So now he's got to make a comeback, right? Because he's about to get dizzy. He's got EX V-trigger. We got to be real careful. What I would do in this situation is I would attempt for a meaty throw, or I would attempt to walk backwards slightly and use my last EX bar to throw EX fireball. Okay, low, overhead. That worked. That worked, but that was pretty risky, right? Because we know that that low is not, that's hard to meaty, right? Or that low was also not meaty. So he could have just EX wild out, EX V-trigger activate, you know? So the risk of our approach in that situation really needs to be weighed against the risk of him doing something, right? So for him, the most possible rewarding thing would have probably been to get into V-trigger somehow, right? Because he can get the momentum back, he can get some sort of plus frame. Wait, no, V-trigger 2 is not plus, right? This is a gap in my matchup knowledge, but if he had V-trigger 1, that would be true. V-trigger 2 might not be true, but still, we want to be careful he's not wilding out. So in that situation, I would have either tried to go for a true meaty or something that just blows up armor. But that's just me, because I wouldn't want to take that risk of going for the overhead and him just mashing normals, right? Because we've seen that has a tendency to just hit us. Okay, so those normals again. Okay, not bad. That run is go back. Go back. Okay, not bad. This we can anti-air. All right. We can move forward, right? This is a tough AA, but we can AA this. When we throw this fireball, we could have dashed, heavy uppercut him. That's just really tough to deal with. Okay, run to get close. Is it a throw attempt? He checks us again, right? So as an observation we could have made here is not only is he checking our dashes, but he's checking our run as well. So this is either he's reacting to forward movement. When we move forward, he's going for down jab, or when we are this distance, he's going for a down jab. It could be either, right? So we just want to keep that in our back pocket, that observation there. Okay, that is a big whiff punish attempt. You can actually whiff punish this really hard. If he just yahoos, you can standing medium kick him, actually. Okay, so he hits a jab again. That would tell me whenever I'm this close, he's probably just going to mash a button, right? That would have been my observation here. I'm not sure if it's super true or not, but that is definitely something that has happened over and over. Right? Okay, forward fierce, combo. Those are hard to react to. There's nothing really special you can do to predict whether or not he's going to go for crazy grab, other than, you know, just paying attention and saying, oh, he always goes for grab. When he does this, grab comes, so I'm going to evade grab, right? But those are reactable. It's just really tough. So that's just kind of tough breaks. Got to react to those. Okay, dash up. We know he goes for meaties here. We've seen this situation before. We've been grabbed. We know that when he dashes, he goes for that short. So to attempt to move here, I don't necessarily agree with. Our stun is high, so we do want to get out of the situation, right? A safer form of defense, or a more optimal form of defense in this situation, would have not been to attempt to evade, right? Because we've never seen him go for grab into grab, right? But, you know, the threat of grab into grab is there, but have we observed it, right? Not necessarily. We've seen him go for the stand short multiple times after the different types of grabs, but he's always dashed up, stand short. And our stun is high. So the risk of evasion, we try to defend via evasion, one of the 3 defensive types, right? You have contestation, which is contesting them, button, EX reversal, right? You have evasion, which is evading the move, right? Backdash, jump, blah, blah, blah. Or you have defense via attrition, which is just like waiting them out, right? Just blocking, essentially. So the risk of evasion here is that we get clipped by a normal attack, right? And we already know the likelihood of his normal attack is pretty high, right? And our stun is also high. So if we get clipped, we're probably going to get stunned, right? So unless he goes for the grab, which of my observation of this replay is, okay, he's probably not going to grab, right? Because we've not observed it before. There's a chance, but it seems pretty low watching this player play, right? And then we could attempt to contest. Well, if we contest and he has a real meaty, we're going to get counter hit. We'll probably get stunned, and his meter is almost full, so we're probably going to die, right? So the risk of contestation and the risk of evasion is extremely high, right? I would even argue to say that in this circumstance, no matter what kind of reward we could get, because we don't have a lot of bar and we don't have our V-trigger ready, so we just get a regular combo if we hit him, or we get to reset to neutral if we don't. No matter what reward we get, it's not worth risking losing, because that's the biggest risk, is just lose, right? So in this situation, I think that choosing defense via attrition and waiting to contest with a V reversal would be better. So I would have blocked the first thing and then immediately V reversal. But you could also wait a little bit to V reversal too. You wouldn't have to do it right away. You might want to do it when you can get a guaranteed V reversal hit. But our stun is super high, so the risk of evading or contesting here is really great. We could have chosen EX uppercut, but that still presents the same risk, right? Anything we do here that isn't block has risk of death, right? And, you know, again, you could say, well, what if he EX grabs? Well, we know that the EX grab is not likely as an option because he's never done it before, right? And he's almost got full meter, so him saving for super is technically more optimal for him, but that's approaching into the why territory. We want to be careful of asking why. We just want to ask when, right? Use our observations of what's going on and note down when, right? Stimulus, response, right? Game state, right? When. We're asking when. When this happens, this happens. When this happens, this happens. If we ask why, we get into this nebulous zone where we're doing Street Fighter philosophy, and, you know, nobody's trying to sit down for an hour to try to decide whether they should block or grab, right? Anyway, so I think the risk of blocking here is much lower than the risk of evading or contesting, right? So the V reversal here would have gotten us into a plus situation. We'd be +2 if we land it properly, and it wouldn't have got our stun down. Also, off of that +2, we could do a frame trap, right? So we'd be even in a better situation. Okay, so there's the jump, right? Let's go back. Okay, jump out. He misses that. He messed that up. That is him messing up. He should have done like short into EX or something. He had a chance to kill you. This jump, this gets us out of the corner, right? But we look here. He dashes. Why does he dash? Don't know. Doesn't matter. He just crazy dashes. He's not even paying attention to us. He's just doing his thing, right? This jump is is not only extremely risky, because remember, he's good at anti-airing. We've seen that. When we jump, he's anti-aired us. We've jumped how many times? We've jumped 5 times up to this point, and he's anti-aired us 3 times, right? So he has a really good success rate on that easy-to-use anti-air. And our stun is super high. We could die, right? We don't want that to happen. So this jump is super risky. It gets us out of the corner, right? But V-reversing and going for a frame trap would also push us out of the corner, right? Not only that, it would give us a chance to hit him, which here we don't have. If you jump out of the corner in this situation, I would advise to always use air hurricane kick. The risk of jumping is so great, but the reward of hitting an air attack is also so great. So why would you ever want to jump and not use an air attack unless it's for a very, very specific situation? In this situation, I would definitely have Tatsu'd. There's an attempt of a normal there, but he dashes out of it. Maybe that's a Tatsu attempt, right? Because the Tatsu will hit behind, and it's hard to AA. It's an evasive jump, right? The medium kick is a good attempt. I agree with that medium kick. Like, you want to jump with a normal always. But I think hurricane kick is just generally a better option, especially when you're getting out of the corner. Okay, there's that second button. We get counter hit here. This is just another observation thing. If you watch this replay again, I guarantee you 99.9% of the time, this birdie player has always gone for button, immediately another button. Even on whiff, he's done like crouch jab, crouch fierce whiff, down stand light, down medium kick, right? He's always doing 2 buttons in a row. This is an observation we should have had on deck. Still in this situation, because our stun is really high, I would be looking to get that V reversal, just to save our life, right? Okay, here's another jump. He is wilding out. He's just going wild, right? So we get away with these jumps, but was this a good decision, right? Was this a strong jump? The reward of this jump is that we get to combo him in the corner, right? But the risk is an immediate loss, right? We can mitigate that risk a little bit by using a tricky jump in or something, but our stun is so high and our health is literally 1 hit from death because he has 3 bars. So deciding to jump here, I mean, you got to hit a Hail Mary to make the comeback, right? But should we have waited a little bit longer? I mean, there's 83 seconds on the clock when we did that jump. There's so much time, right? So he just wiles out and we end up hitting him, right? Big combo chance. Now our stun is going down, which is good. You chose a long combo to do. That's good. You could have chosen like a short combo, but in this situation, you want to choose a long combo because you want your stun to decay. In the corner, there's a slightly more optimal variation of this that you can do. You can do target combo and delay the target combo. So you hit medium punch, back medium punch, wait a tiny little bit because you can delay his target combo, right? Delay it, hit fierce punch. Then you can use fireball into heavy uppercut. It does a little bit more damage than the step kick variation. Okay, now we get Oki here. He's got the meters. I would still go for something here because we've seen that he likes to just block. His preferred form of defense is defense via attrition, right? He's just blocking. So I would go for something here. The thunder kick, not a bad idea. I wouldn't rely on this because it's kind of like a crutch for your offense, right? The thunder kick is a little bit gimmicky sometimes. So I would definitely have other things on deck, but we know that he's pretty weak to this, right? We know that this. Another jump. We did throw him before, right? We did throw him before, so you could say like, oh, maybe there's a possibility he'll throw tech here, but there's a lot better things we could do after this, right? If we get a meaty attack, think about it like amount of mix-ups, like economy of mix-ups, right? So every time you get a plus frame and you're not so far so far away it's going to take you like a long time to walk up, you know? As long as you're in threat of micro walk throw, it's so much more powerful. Because if we hit him with a button, we get to mix up between frame trap, throw, or shimmy, right? So we get that triple mix up. We get the big ass Street Fighter 5 50-50, right? So if I hit him with down medium or down short or whatever, right? I'm plus, I get my 3-way mix up, right? Then I get, if I hit him with another normal, like back medium punch or down jab, I get a 3-way mix up, right? And wait a minute, I'm still in range. I can hit him with another normal and get a 3-way mix up. So in that, we have 9 possible chances to get damage on him. We have 3 50-50 situations we create, and each one has 3 outcomes, right? So we have 9 chances to blow him up by touching him on block, right? This is also what makes Street Fighter 5 fucked up, because defense is ass in this game. But anyway, we have so many chances to get him. But by jumping, right, we not only take a super big risk, but we throw away our extra opportunities to open him up, right? We're putting it all on this one opportunity. Now, he goes for the throw here, and previously we had thrown him. You did do a thunder kick feint into throw. Now, this is up to you to make this decision. Like, did I condition my opponent enough to be able to anticipate throw here? Right? Yeah, you're giving him his turn back. That's exactly what happened when you jump, right? So this is the skillful part of the game. The skillful part of the game in all fighting games is knowing basically when your opponent is going to change their option, right? So you say, when I do this, he responds with this, right? When the game state is this way, my opponent reacts this way. And the skillful bit of that comes from experience and observing tons of people and getting a sense of how your opponent likes to play their character and things like that, right? So it is entirely possible here. You could have been confident he would throw, right? In that situation, this would have been an excellent read, right? But without, you know, I'm not you, so I don't know how confident you were in this situation that this would work, but just on paper, right? And context is extremely important in fighting games, right? Because everything you do is innately risky somehow, right? Because everything has a counter. So the only thing you can really do to beat other people is abuse context, right? So the context of this is really important. But just raw on paper, no context, this is an extremely risky jump that throws away a lot of opportunities for damage. However, we do cash this out, right? So boom, big damage combo coming. His stun is pretty high. Whatever we do, he's going to be maxed out. So after this knockdown, we should be prepared for him to maybe while out, right? So let's see. So when you're hitting your opponent, right? This all happens really quickly. So you hit them with like the first or second hit, you confirm it. You already know what's going to happen. You've already practiced your combos. The best combo to do should just come out, right? You should just be able to do it blind. But I mean, you can do this in training mode. You can just jump fierce at your opponent. You know what combo to do. You don't need to look at it, right? So what do we do in this moment where we're not actively trying to turn the gears to think about what combo to do? Well, we should look at their resources. So in this moment, I would have looked very quickly. This happens in a snap, right? Look at his resources, and that would inform me like, all right, I'm looking at the Dizzy to see if I should spend EX. Okay, I'm probably not going to stun him. Boom. Quick glance at the EX bar. All right, he's almost got V-Trigger, right? This means that the next time he gets up, he's going to have his best options. He's going to have the explosion. So I need to be prepared for the next mix-up I put on him to take this into account, right? So what's the combo here? All right, it's a combo. Better than nothing. But in this situation, we could do jump fierce, down fierce, EX fireball, light hurricane kick, heavy uppercut, maximum damage, 1 bar in the corner, right? We definitely could have done the fat combo. We also could have just gone straight into uppercut there, or the step kick uppercut combo we did before, and all of those will give us Oki, right? So you got the opportunity there, just drop the combo, right? Not the end of the world. Wow, he stands up. Did we present a feint there? Not at all, right? Not at all. So, okay. All right, what do we do with this? Staggered pressure again. We were not ready for that hit, right? This goes back to saying, this goes back to what I was just saying a moment ago, is we know what's going to happen, right? You know, the combo drop could have thrown us off, but we already know what's going to happen, right? We hit him, he gets knocked down. We know what situation comes up next. So we can prepare ourselves for the extras, right? So it's tough, but whenever you throw a normal, you got to be ready for it to hit. You got to have that anticipation in your mind, like, okay, I'm going to have to confirm this. But that's hard, right? So, everybody drops combos. And everybody misses confirms sometimes. Okay, what do we try to do? Fierce punch. Now we know this is tough to see, right? This is tough to see, but this distance we're at, consistently, he has always done a button, right? So if you were hyper aware, you would have been like, okay, the throw tech pushed me away. What is my opponent likely to do? Oh, snap. We're at that distance where he just always mashes. I got hit like 9 times this distance. Probably should just walk backwards, right? So, yeah, we get clipped there. It's no big deal. We're surviving. We have him in the corner, right? So now we control where we are. We control the distance. He can't do anything. If he tries to escape, we get to uppercut him. We can even cross-cut. There's no way he's getting out of here without some wild thing, right? So we can lock him down, right? Big jump. In this situation, his stun is high. We have EX. We almost have V-trigger. You could have gone for a step kick activate, big pressure afterwards. And remember, his stun is super high, so if he gets hit with something, he might die, right? You could have tried to re-enter that risky distance where he always mashes, right? But probably the best thing to do is to walk up to where you know he always mashes, step back, and clip his normal. You could try Fierce Punch. You could even use Roundhouse, right? You could do anything. And we know if we get a counter hit, we're going to get V-trigger. So you could even, like, walk up, stand fierce on block, frame trap into step kick, just to see if you get away with it, and then big activate. Or you could just stand fierce, activate, right? Our V-trigger is almost ready. We need to pressure him and close him down in the corner. We have tons of great options. We could even just walk back, fireball, see if he jumps, see if he tries to EX, and react, right? We have tons of really strong options to do, but we choose to jump. And we know we've jumped what, like 7 times now, and he's anti-aired us 5 times out of 7, right? So this jump statistically is not likely to work. He clips us. Oh, he could super right here. He could have killed us. We could have just died. Okay, not a bad V reversal. So you usually do not want to V reversal jumps, right? Because look, when you jump, he's plus 12. He is plus 12, which means that if you V reversal, right? Oh no, he's not even plus 12. Look, he's plus a gajillion. 32, my guy? Holy snap. If you V reversal, right now he can react with throw. So when they jump at you, you usually don't want to V reversal because it's so plus. Good players can easily throw you here, right? Excuse me. So he doesn't throw, but this V reversal gets the pressure off, right? So you cut his momentum short, right? You get rid of the pressure, but you're -2. Okay, good blocking. Good blocking. Continue blocking because he has a V-trigger on. This is good blocking. close-up fireball, I'm not so sure. Maybe a DP attempt, right? You could have tried a DP. It looks like a DP attempt. Actually, no, that's just a fireball, reading those inputs. Maybe you attempt an EX, but in that situation, when you get close like that, he's minus, you want to take your plus frames. Because, you know, when we're plus frames, we get our mix-ups, and we get a chance to deal the damage. So, overall, this replay, I would say that generally the most time we took damage is trying to advance at Birdie and him countering dashes and countering jumps, right? So we tried to advance often multiple times in a row, and we would get just clipped, you know, worn away. I'd also say that things we can generally improve on, other than like our base strategy of constantly trying to rush him down, is to more optimize our block strings and to further optimize our V-trigger activation specifically. Other than that, there's some drop combos in here. There's some good, you do good pressure mixing up between feint low and grab, but there's generally a lot, just some optimization stuff. I think that this Birdie player kind of just did his thing, right? Like, I don't think you got like crazily outplayed or anything like that. I just think you know, we were a little bit suboptimal, so he got away with some shenanigans on us, right? I hope that could help. Hope that was very useful. I try. Let me just show off in training mode the block string I was talking about.
The grid.
You have the ID? All right, let me hook me up. We'll show this. We'll try to look at this block string real quick, and we'll look at this combo real quick, and we'll go to that replay. Okay, so the block string I was talking about, just to demonstrate that really quickly, is so you do this. You can threaten micro walk throw, right? So you had him in the corner right here with V-trigger on. So even V-trigger makes this way more powerful because you get extra plus frames on EX, right? So you can micro walk throw, you can just shimmy. He can't do anything to you, right? If he tries to throw you at a whiff, or you can go for this, which lets you do the same thing over again, right? And then you can frame trap this into EX. And this loops over and over. And after every one of these, you can throw. So to just to go for fireball into jab is kind of selling it short, right? Kind of cutting it short. There's so much we could squeeze out of that situation. Another thing is the corner combo I was talking about. Is we can do this. If you delay this target combo, you get a better juggle. So you can delay it. Fine. I didn't suck. There we go. You can delay it and get a fat juggle combo. This is much more optimal than this. I believe it's like an extra 30 damage. Oh, no, it's not 30 damage. It's still what's that? 19? Is that extra 19 damage? I don't know how to do math. Sorry. Yeah. I hope that was I hope I could have lent a helping hand. Thanks for the replay. Alright, let's get to the next one. Copy, copy. This is
CFN. Replay search.
ID. First F3D. No replay data. Okay, maybe I typed it in wrong. F 3A. Okay, Ryu versus Ken. This matchup, so just to preface this before anything begins, this matchup is super even in my opinion. However, I believe Ken gains a slight advantage with the uses of V-Trigger 2. Now, before we even begin the matchup, it's important to choose our weapons, right? So the reason I say V-Trigger 2 is very useful is because in neutral, right, you got Ryu normals, Ken normals, right? You got Ryu normals, Ken normals. Then you got Ryu fireball, Ken fireball, right? So we're even, pretty even. I think anyone would say like, oh yeah, in neutral, Ryu and Ken are pretty even. I mean, Ryu has the parry for parrying fireballs from far distances and pokes, but generally about round start distance, 1 to 1.5 squares away, you're even. But if you take away Ryu's fireball, you take away his fireball, now Ken has the advantage. And Ryu's V-Trigger 1 also enhances his fireballs and gives him a bunch of frame traps and things that use fireball. So if we pack V-Trigger 2, we can just negate his V-Trigger 1 entirely. And if Ryu, then like, say we're playing in a tournament and he switches his V-Triggers after he loses, man, V-Trigger 2 is not a threat. That's a meme, right? So, well, I mean, I guess he could hit you with it, but like, you know what I'm saying, right? So we can take away his V-Trigger and get an advantage in neutral by coming with V-Trigger 2 as Ken, right? So Ken here, I would say, has gotta go with V-Trigger 2 in the Shoto matchup. It's great versus Akuma, great versus Ken, great versus Ryu. Basically, the Shotos, you want V-Trigger 2. And if you think about it, we don't really need a lot of V reversals. We don't need to V reversal 3 times. You know, we're not fighting against Laura. We don't need a big comeback factor generally because we're so even in neutral that we can just play a little bit better. And then if we take a little bit of damage, we get our V-Trigger 2. Now we're advantage in neutral, right? So we don't need huge comeback. We don't need multiple V reversals. We can counter one of his main tools, which is also one of our main tools. So we can take that away, and we can have it. He can't. V-Trigger 2, I think, is of critical importance in this matchup. It's so good. There's no reason not to take it. This is one of 3 matchups where V-Trigger 2 is useful. Oh, wow. Okay. So, backdash. A conservative start from Ken. I don't disagree with the jab. Generally, I think if you're going to throw a fireball right away, it's kind of hard to know if they're going to take that 99-second jump. But this is like crazy from Ryu, right? All right, so we get wild out on. Big jump, throw. Okay. Nice anti-air. Dash up. Minus. Big punish chance. Crush counter there. Ryu is swinging. Oh, man. Okay, that's punishable. Nice anti-air from Ryu. No anti-air from Ken. Wilding out. All right, he's got V-Trigger. Big confirm chance. Okay, nice confirm. Good choice of V-reversal. Wild out. Every Tatsu is death. Your Ryu, respectable. All right, I got you. Well, let's just watch it through one time, and then observe. Just get the lay of the land, right? Watch it through. Nice. Psychic parry. This is a very high-paced match. I disagree with how Ken is not utilizing Fireball. Okay. Ken's standing Fierce Punch is minus. Ryu can punish with jab. You always get to take your turn back. Okay. Man, Ken is wilding out. Okay, that was a safe activation chance. Okay, Ryu's not doing much because he knows Ken is going crazy. This was the second or third set. Okay. Maybe he's making some reads I don't know about. Alright. So the fact that Ken doesn't have V-Trigger 2, kind of a big deal. This matchup, in my opinion, is usually like pretty slow, but this goes really quickly. Ken is definitely not trying to sit down here. He's trying to go in.
Round 1.
Okay, round 1.
Fight.
Okay. Conservative start from Ryu. Conservative start from Ken. I don't disagree. This is a crazy Hail Mary. This could have been a read, but this is super risky. But, you know, sometimes you throw a Fireball, they just jump at you. This is neither here nor there. He had started with Fireball earlier. Yeah. I would say that if I was Ken, I'd be like, all right, this shows me my opponent wants to take the initiative and be aggressive, so I should look for that, right? So I would go from, okay, neutral mode to, all right, I need to intercept something mode. Okay. Boom. Throw Fierce. Okay, a little bit of a wild Fierce. I don't really know what you could get off of that. But, okay, so we're fishing for crush counter. Forward Fierce. Ken jumps. All right, weird decision. He doesn't even use a cross up. The forward Fierce pushes him under. Pushes Ryu under. Throw there. Fireball. Okay, this is a great anti-air. Ryu and Ken have the best anti-airs in the game. Ryu, Ken, Akuma, best anti-airs in the game. Literally invincible uppercuts. You can count Sagat too, right? So if you're playing any character with an invulnerable DP, in a perfect world, no one can ever jump at you without getting hit with this, unless you choose not to, right? So Ryu does the godlike uppercut. Boom. Okay. I like that Fireball. This is safe pressure that follows up. If Ken has EX, though, you gotta be careful because he can EX through the Fireball on reaction. Okay, so it seems like Ryu wants to be aggressive. Forward dash, right? All right, Ryu is definitely swinging a lot. Ken dashes. This is punishable. -8. Ryu gets medium punch here. Right, so in this situation, when you block the Fireball really close, this is Ken's life. Like, the stand short. All right, that's a, you know, he could have been far away, but I would have liked to seen. I would have liked to seen a special move cancel here, like stand short into something. I'm saying, so check this out. Okay, so Ken dashes up. This is 0. I mean, this is minus. Now this is a frame trap, right? So he medium punches. This is a frame trap. We continue to block. This, if he does not cancel into EX Fireball after target combo, he is always punishable. This is -8. If he had done EX Fireball, he would have been +2. But this is -8. And Ryu is extremely close. So Ryu could have done a stand medium punch here if he was aware of the spacing. If you were aware of the spacing as Ryu, you could have got a fat combo, right? But you can usually go for light kick because if they push you too far away, right? Like if the Fireball pushes you too far away, the light kick might still reach where medium punch won't. So light kick is not a bad choice here because the distance is often difficult to observe. But the best thing after this light kick would have been to like special cancel, maybe to like HDP. But so we go for the fierce. Ken gets clipped doing medium punch. Back rise, dash up, meaties, nice. Off of that meaty, I do this all the time. This is a bad habit I have, right? I do exactly this. I get this counter hit. I'm like, sweet, a counter hit. Let me do a counter hit combo. Oh man, they're too far away. What do you should do hurricane kick here. Right? Or uppercut or something. But EX fireball, I don't know. I always do this as well. This is just like a bad habit. It's not the end of the world because you do get some damage, but there's some optimization here, right? Okay, big dash. I like the meaties. Okay, so Ken threw after we did jab. So we know that we counter hit him on wake up. He blocks here and he throws. So on observation, this tells us that Ken is generally ready to contest us, right? I would make a good attempt to note this down. Like, all right, Ken is definitely going for contesting. Big sweeps. Fierce. Okay. He can take his turn back. He chooses not to. Plus. Okay, big jump. Is there an AA here? Absolutely. That's an easy AA to get. Nice. That fireball is not bad either. He does have EX, so he could reactionarily EX that, but you have so much. You got to think, right? You know, you got to weigh the risk versus reward to your health bar, right? So you knock him down, right? If you fireball him and he blocks it, you get to keep his stun high. You can possibly advance behind your fireball. Yeah, you could possibly advance behind the fireball, and you get to keep mounting your pressure. You force him to stay still, so you have control of the situation, right? And if he EXs you, not only does he waste his only EX bar, you've been confidently doing well in the whole match. There's not a situation where you haven't had general control yet, right? So you fireball him. If he EXs here, okay, you take a little bit of damage. Maybe he activates off of it, and you're still Gucci, right? Because you have so much health. So this I would have followed behind. I don't know if I agree with the jump, but he does not AA. This I would have tried to dash up and throw, right? Because you got to think, if his stun is super high, what might he be looking for, right? He's probably looking for a V reversal opportunity. Now, if you land the jump in, you can't just throw him out, but he goes with the contest, right? Okay, so wild contest. Look, that did so little damage, right? I don't agree with uppercutting there because it does so little. I mean, I guess you really want to hang on to your V bar, but I mean, you got to try something else because losing that EX is huge. His stun was so high, you should have thrown. He knows. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I see. Okay, frame trap. Dash again. He's really taking all chances to get in. This is a tough situation to deal with, right? But again, just like the jumping, nobody in the world is perfect. But the brass tacks is that this dash needs to be automatically reacted to. All of us need to ideally train and learn to subconsciously react to checking these dashes. Okay, so he activates. This is a good activation route. This is one of the better activation routes. Not a bad time to V reversal. I agree with this V reversal. I think this is a good decision. Now, you want to V reversal here because you will push him back, and if he throws you, his turn is over, right? So if he activates and goes for the immediate throw, most of the time it will not catch your V reversal, right? But if in some situation he gets an activation that's plus enough for him to grab this, his turn is over, right? It's much more dangerous for him to present the high-low mix-up on you, right? So V reversing immediately, especially when you have such high health, is a great idea. Because Ken's V trigger, I mean, it's not really that great. Like, what's he gonna do? Enhanced fireball? You just parry. You're Ryu, right? Or what's he gonna do? Oh, he's gonna Tatsu? Oh, free anti-air, right? Okay, so this is a good wild wake up Tatsu. Okay. EX, he tries it again. In this situation, I would have stood still and just like tried to observe more. I'm of the mind that observing is sometimes a risk. Sitting too still is sometimes risky. But the more health you have compared to the other guy, everything is less and less risky because you have so much money in the bank, so to speak, right? So here I would not have taken an action, but the EX Fireball is not bad, right? It's pretty much guaranteed to hit him at this distance. Okay, so there's a Fireball after. I don't disagree with that Fireball either, but in neutral, now because I know he's Tatsu'd twice before, it looks like he's wilding out. It looked like he was wilding out from the very beginning. I would have chose not to done a Fireball here. And Ryu chooses not to Fireball here. I think it's the right decision in this situation. Big anti-air. Ken gave the game.
Round 2.
Okay, so what's the round opener here? Another backdash. That's not the end of the world to lose a little bit of distance. I think walking backwards is a little bit safer than backdashing, though, because... So let's think about this. The round starts. No one can touch anyone. There's not a single character in the game that can touch you off a round start. Maybe, I don't know, Sim, right? So backdashing puts you close to the corner. If they choose to walk forward, you get punished by backdashing because they take away your space, right? So if you walk backwards, you can still safely retreat a little and observe what they do without opening yourself up and giving it too much space, right? Because if you walk back, you can immediately move forward, jump forward, neutral jump, jump back. You can do anything. But if you backdash, you're locked in. So if he throws a fireball and you backdash, you're locked into the backdash, which means that you lose that distance and you have to block the fireball, right? But if you walk backwards, you can neutral jump the fireball, or even if you haven't gotten too far away, you could reactionarily, like, I can see the frames, react to the first frame of his fireball or something and jump at him, right? Backdashing at round start is a little suboptimal because you just give up space and lock yourself into an action that, while not extremely detrimental, can just result in situations that are not positive for you, right? So walking backwards covers all the options and gives you more freedom at round start, right? So if you want to open the gap between you and the opponent up, walking backwards probably a little bit stronger of an option. But this is just like a minute, thing. If he throws the fireball, though, he can definitely get mad space and almost corner you. If he throws light fireball. Okay, so here's that again. He just doesn't AA. This is hard. These are hard to AA, but in an ideal world, we all uppercut these. Okay, this is all right. Big jump. Nice pressure. Running. That's an excellent response to the run. Ken's run is never, ever plus, right? Ken's run is never, ever, ever plus. And you always get a counter hit combo. So when he runs at you, you know he's going to get counter hit. So you get to do a counter hit specific combo. I don't think this combo is counter hit specific, but going for the big normal is not a bad idea. Okay, firm. Missed Oki, just unfortunate. That's a crazy read on that parry. Boom. Big parry knockdown. I think you could have gotten a medium punch combo there as Ryu. So there's probably a little bit of optimization, right? Some awareness. Because we're aware enough to be like, oh, I'm about to hit this fat parry. Look at me, I'm Daigo, right? Right, you parry him. I don't know. You can't see my other hand, but I'm doing the parry. Anyway, you parry him, and then you get a chance for like a fat combo, right? So if we're already aware enough for the parry, we're definitely aware enough for a nice combo. So there's just a little bit of optimization here. All right, lots of movement. Fireball. Yeah, he's just swinging sweeps. There's an air-to-air attempt. Not bad. You probably already moving, decided to move before, and then that jump got converted to an air-to-air. Ideally, in that situation, you would have stayed bolted to the ground. I think Ryu would have stayed bolted to the ground, because if Ryu's pressuring here, right? Go back. Ryu's pressuring here. What advantage can we get out of jump? Right? So, gives him to the corner. Alright, so Ryu's pressuring here, right? What can we do to get ourselves in a better situation? We could attempt to close the gap and get plus frames, right? We can maintain this distance such that he cannot escape the corner. We can cage him down and try to dominate the position, like hold him there in the chance that he'll make a mistake and we'll punish it. Like he might whiff a normal, he might attempt to jump, right? He might fireball, we can reactionarily hurricane kick through or something like that, right? So we can move forward or maintain this distance. Both of them get us in a good situation. But so you move forward, right? Jumping back here, and the jump doesn't really get us into a good situation. The air-to-air attempt is good. It shows good reactionary awareness, right? But ideally, we would have got a DP. Because if we stayed on the ground and we uppercut him, he's back in the same situation over again. And we already know he's sweating, right? He just tried to jump out of the corner versus an uppercut character. Kidding me, right? And we know that we're anti-airing his jumps, right? So we got to look at the reward versus the risk, right? Jumping back might not be risky, but it's also not rewarding, right? We want to maximize reward and minimize risk. Okay, big sweep. Unfortunately, no punish. There's a parry there, so there was something, reacted to something, but no punish. Okay. When Ken does standing hard punch, you gotta take your turn back. It's always a good idea. If he just cancels, if he doesn't cancel it, you can just take your turn back. It's -3. So Ryu always gets to just swing with a jab. Or you could do a 4-frame attack and just take your plus frames, right? Stand hard punch on block is minus. It's kind of slow startup. Yeah, it's your turn again. After stand hard punch, it's your turn. If he's close, you can light DP or you can jab. But he has to be pretty close for that. So it's usually better just to take your plus frames back. Because essentially he's minus, right? So basically you're +3. So every frame trap you can do off of +3, you can do off of his hard punch, right? He hard punches you, he's minus, you're plus. So he can't do anything. You get to do strong, down medium kick, whatever you can do, whatever Ryu can do off of +3, he gets to do here in the situation where you block Ken's Fierce Punch. A lot of Ken players just swing crush counters, like they swing roundhouse, they swing Fierce Punch. Those moves are actually ass. Like they're booty butt cheeks, right? Those are like whiff punish moves and like counter hitting moves. Those are not pressure tools. And a lot of Ken players will attempt to use them as pressure tools, and not only are they punishable at certain distances, they lose your turn. And I don't know how they get away with it, but that's like a matchup knowledge thing, right? Okay, so no confirm here is unfortunate. Counter hit. counter hitting back medium punches gives you ample time to confirm, but it's just difficult to be ready. So again, in an ideal world, if we were all perfect players, that would have been confirmed, but it's tough. Sweep here, I don't know if I agree with this sweep. I mean, you just got counter hit, right? It's kind of risky to press a button in general. And sweep, I don't know, because think about it. If you sweep him, you knock him down, you get Oki, right? But if you down medium kick, you can confirm it into Hurricane or DP or even Fireball, which you can make yourself safe off of by using EX. So if we want to punish our opponent for walking, right? Sweep is a great tool for punishing someone for walking around. But sweeps are only really useful at the tip, because inside the maximum distance of sweep, once they get to your medium kick, this is true for Ken as well. Once they get to the distance of your medium kick, now you get buffered attacks. And that's so much more optimal than the sweep. So the only time you really want to sweep someone is if they're like consistently outside the range of your medium kick, right? Then you can clip them with the sweep. You want to hit the sweep at the tip. Then the sweep is good. But inside, up close like that, if you're going for a low to punish walking, you definitely want to do a medium kick because you can special cancel and you can confirm it if you're ready. Right? Okay, meaty, not bad. A little bit of confirmed drop. Big jump. Ken drops his combo again. Unfortunate. Just rough. Oh, sweep activate. Sweep activate for Ken is actually not good. That's like the worst way you want to activate is minus. Gotta go for something into Fireball. Okay, another sweep. Now this sweep from Ryu, right? This sweep from Ryu is different than the previous one, right? The previous sweep we observed was slightly suboptimal and pretty risky because sweep is high startup and it's very punishable on block, right? This sweep is different though because Ryu has V-trigger, which changes the dynamic. So now, instead of being a slow, risky move that punishes walking, that we don't get anything off of, this becomes a safe move that has high priority and punishes walking, but it still has the high startup. I know Ryu can activate off of the Fireball as well. So maybe a down medium kick would have been super optimal here, but sweep into V-trigger is not... It's a totally different ball game than just raw sweep. Okay, so now we get a meaty setup. Okay, nothing off of that. All right, not the end of the world. We're still ahead. I would go back to neutral. Okay, Ken jumps again. I would be, yeah. That's exactly. I think that's a correct decision. Just chill there. I don't know about the multiple fireballs in a row. I mean, they are enhanced, but I would definitely just be looking to like check a dash or DP there, right? So let me... This is the same for Ken and Ryu, right? Maybe stagger a fireball. Also agree. Also agree. Let me open up training mode and talk about this. So this is the same for Ken and Ryu. Fireball is a poke. Right? Yo, what's up, Night Canvas? You got a few replays? So basically, just let me get the replay ID, and I'll load it up. We're gonna talk about Fireball as a tool here. So Fireball, right, is good from really far away. This applies to Ryu and Akuma and pretty much any Fireball character that's a motion Fireball character. So Fireball is safe here. It dominates the horizontal space. We can follow up behind it, right? Fireball is really good from here. The reasons are obvious. But in this distance, right? Think not of Fireball as like, okay, this is going to manage horizontal space. They have to evade it. Don't think of it as limiting their options, right? Because we throw it from here, this limits their options, right? When you're up at this distance, right? I would treat Fireball like a big normal. Treat it like a big normal attack, right? With an amazing hitbox. So you want to use it like a poke from this distance, right? And the tricky bit about this is that it's unsafe because it has so much startup, right? So your opponent can react. But what you want to do is look for when they move or take another type of action. So generally, you want to be looking for when they move forward, right? So that Ken player was chilling, right? Which means that he could have reactionarily Tatsu at that fireball, right? But as you see, Ryu is moving forward here, right? So if Ryu walks forward, right, I know his controller is holding forward. I know he's doing something else, which probably means he's thinking about something else. That's when I can throw my fireball. So if you're at this medium distance and you're like, okay, my opponent has a really good thing that goes around fireball. How can I still apply my fireball to the situation at that distance where fireball is not a super strong normal or super good at controlling space? This middle weird distance, right? You basically wait until they're unprepared. So you watch this guy walk forward. If that Ken player had scooted forward, then I would have been like, all right, throw the fireball. But if he was staying still, I would not throw fireball because I know he can just whoop, go right over top of it, right? So I don't disagree with throwing a fireball there because you were at a distance where you could still DP, but a little tiny bit closer is like what I'm talking about. You want to wait till they present some other option and then put the fireball in there to interrupt them. Because if you had staggered your fireball, right, like dun 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 fireball, dun 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 fireball, right? If you had changed the rhythm like that, there is a chance that Ken player could have reacted. But if you're waiting for, yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? I'm saying he could have reacted with Tatsu if you had done like a staggered fireball. But it just so happens that he got hit by both of them. That's generally how I would think about using fireball at this distance. Because if you're closer, like right here, fireball is basically a really slow but good normal attack. And if you're far away, like right here, fireball controls horizontal space and lets you move around and anti-air, right? But in this middle distance, just outside of where fireball would function as like a normal attack, but not so far away that you can safely AA them every time, it's really hard to use fireball and often really dangerous. So I would wait until they take some other action, they take a step forward or something like that, and then you throw your fireball in it to interrupt them and cause them to maybe do something else. Yeah, that's how I would have tried to throw fireball in that situation. But the way you threw fireball in that situation with the powered up Ryu fireball was also not bad, right? As another general note, earlier we were discussing like stimulus and response, right? And pattern recognition. We can use that to our advantage. This is like the interesting, cool part about Street Fighter, right? So, say we're throwing fireball, right? We know Ryu is looking at us. He's like, oh, this son of a gun throwing the fireball, that's my move, right? So we throw it in a pattern, right? Everybody, even if you don't try, there will be a pattern, right? So whenever you cast a fireball, no matter what character you are, even this applies to your normal attacks as well, right? You have a certain rhythm. You have a pattern, right? You have this rhythm. So it might be fireball, bump, bump, fireball. Oops. Bump, bump, fireball. Bump, bump, fireball, right? You know that your opponent is looking at this and going, there's a pattern here, right? You can use this to your advantage. You can use that to your advantage. You can go bump, bump, fireball. Bump, bump, fireball. Bump, bump, fireball. And then, you're watching him. You're watching his movements. You're making some educated guesses, right, about the player. And you go, oh, he might have caught on. Okay, so now I'm going to bump, bump, fireball. Bump, bump, nothing. He expects fireball. I might even do this, right? I might even pump to fake him out. So I might even bump, fireball. Bump, fireball. Bump, nothing. Now, I intentionally made a very predictable pattern to my fireballs, and I'm looking for when he catches on, and then I'm going to use that pattern to my advantage, right? Now, the most obvious thing here is that they might jump, right? On a good day, they jump and you get a free anti-air. But even if they don't jump, this is really good to do all the time. You even do this with you do this with everything. You can even do it with walking forward. You can have a rhythm of walking forward and manipulate it that way. All of your actions, right? By manipulating your rhythm, you get them to anticipate something, and then when you think they're gonna take the counter action to their anticipation, you counter their counter ahead of time, right? This is really powerful because even if he doesn't jump over my fireball, right, he might stay still. He might parry. He might do something. I get to observe where he's trying to go mentally, right? So if I see him stay still, I might say, oh, that's a defensive action. He's thinking about defensive things. Perhaps I should look more for his defensive tendencies, right? And, you know, this sounds like, oh, whoa, that's meta as shit. But it's actually kind of easy to do once you get a little bit of experience doing it. It's not really all that complicated. And most of these thoughts you have are generally subconscious, right? So you do this and you see what he does when you change your pattern. Now you have a very, very defined stimulus you just applied to the opponent in the game, and you can observe the response. So this is like the best time to be observing your opponent's actions, is when you intentionally do something. And one of the easiest ways you can do that is through manipulating the rhythm of your actions, right? So you can even do it with walk forward, right? Like you can dun dun dun, walk forward, walk back, dun dun dun, walk forward, walk back, dun dun dun, stay still, or dun 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 dun, right? You can manipulate the rhythm of your actions to see what happens. Grappler players actually do this with walking forward all the time. You ever play against Zangief and he's like, huh, huh, huh. When Zangief's really good down jab, he goes, huh, huh, huh. And you're like, oh, okay. All right, I'm not going to do shit. I can't contest that jab. And then when Geef does that, when he does, huh, 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 right, he's dun 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 dun. And then all of a sudden, dun 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 dun, right? He just walks into your face. You ever play against a Geef player and they just walk into you? It's because they're manipulating the rhythm of their actions, and it causes you to react in the way that they want, right? So they walk up and they're doing the jab, right, in a pattern. So the next time they walk forward for that certain amount of time, you go, okay, the jab's coming. Block the jab or do whatever, right? But Zangief goes, ah, I know you know. Ha ha ha, and he just walks into you. Right, that's also a manipulation of rhythm, and that is of critical importance and easiest to do when you throw your fireball. But you can do it with every single action you take, even standing still. Right? Yo, what's up, Sharkbite? I see you, man. Yeah, we were just talking about throwing fireballs and choosing to throw fireballs, and it led to this discussion on rhythm and pattern recognition and how we can use it to our advantage. Basically, because we know our opponent is a human being, we can just twist them all up. We can use that they're trying to do the same thing we're doing, right? They're trying to do the same thing we're doing. We can use that to our advantage. We're already armed with the knowledge we need, right? All right, let's get this next replay. What if I was a dating coach? Oh man. Alright, let's go to see it. Replay Surge. Yo, what's up, Wolf? I see you, man. Good. Use our replay ID. Alright, so Night Canvas has a big replay. 4C8. Uzis. I can feel the dash from this. The girl has sunglasses. She's being defensive. All right, watch. So like anything, whenever I watch a replay and I think it's a good idea, is just watch it one time. Just try to watch it all the way through just to get a sense of what happens. And then the second time you watch it, pick a perspective, right? So you might want to choose the perspective of the opponent, like pretend you're just playing against someone else online and that you're the opponent, right? Or you might want to pick your perspective and play it from your perspective. If you really, really want to analyze a replay, because, you know, they're short, right? So you can watch them like 3 times. You can watch it once just to get a sense of what's going on, one time from player 1 perspective, and one time from player 2 perspective. And that will, like, let you really, really dig in to how it went. So let's just watch this through the first time. That was maybe a fireball. Okay, big jumperoos. Pika stuff. Nice blocking. Roundhouse there. Pika stuff. Okay. I'm over. Nice upper. Oh, unfortunate. Excuse me.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh. Have to deal it. Miko bronze. So what I would say is that your ranking and your skill level are like really separate. Okay? So there's a correlation. Like if you're really good, you're probably going to be able to acquire a high rank, right? But because of the way the ladder is designed, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you have a high rank, you're really good, right? Because you can do things like you can blacklist people that beat you so you never play against them. You can only play people once when the game is clearly designed to be played 2 out of 3, right? You can manipulate your internet connection and lag on people. Sometimes the online drops. There's a serious problem with the way points are distributed, and there's inflation and all this stuff. So whenever you play against someone, I think a good mindset to have is that if we were at EVO Grand Finals, if Fuzis and Night Canvas were at EVO Grand Finals, there would be no badge on the screen to tell the skill level. You have to judge it as you play them. So if you're trying to like make an assessment or ascertain like what someone's skill level is, the best way to do that is to like just observe them and then calculate their power level. Because if you look at their ranking, it's not a very accurate thing. So are either of these players bronze players, or are they either whatever ranking they are? It basically just doesn't matter what your online ranking is, right? It's like in Dragon Ball, right? When like they learn, like Vegeta learns not to use a scouter, right? Because the scouters aren't accurate. Like Krillin is like, I'm gonna suppress my power level. So, and then Vegeta's like looking at the scouter, he's like, oh, you're a wimp. And then Krillin's like, haha, psych. I'm Krillin. And then Vegeta's like, wow, my scouter was hella inaccurate. You're still a wimp though. And then he, you know, it's like that. Okay. Okay, so we... Oh, Mika gets a big combo here. Alright. Okay. Okay, so... We get Mika. We kind of get Mika, right? We definitely get put into the corner. So the first thing I would say is let's think about before we even. Can you give another replay? Absolutely. So the first thing I would say is before we even begin the match, before we even get into the battle, what is our general game plan, right? Like we want to have a general idea of what we want to do. And when we have that basic idea, everything else falls into place. So all of like the complicated, like this spacing and this frame and this specific sequence and data and all that complicated stuff falls into place. It all lines up when we have a basic idea of an overarching strategy, right? And I'm not necessarily sure what Ken's strategy is here. It seems to be a little defensive and just kind of see what happens. That's what I would say. Like, it doesn't seem to me that Ken necessarily has a super solid idea of what he wants to do, right? And that idea doesn't need to be like complicated, right? It can be as easy as like it needs to be a little specific, but it doesn't need to be complicated. So it can be like use my fireball and my uppercut, or it can be like use my standing medium punch and my standing hard kick to poke them, or I'm going to try to dash forward and throw them and then go for a meaty, or something like that. Like some specific thing, right? But it doesn't need to be super complicated. And once you have that, you'll go, okay, well, how can I get into this plan? Like, I have this general idea. What are my sequences that involve that plan? Well, to do this, I need to, do this set of actions, and then that leads into, oh, well, these set of actions lead me to that. So, for example, to make it unambiguous, let's say you just want to land jab, target combo, heavy hurricane kick, right? Ken's bread and butter combo. Okay, so this is my sequence I start with, is my bread and butter combo. How do I get into that? Okay, I need to be close to hit jab. How can I get close? Well, I can walk up, I can jump, I can run, or I can dash. Okay, which one of those do I pick? Let's just say you pick walk, right? Okay, well, sometimes walking is a little difficult to do. What should I do? Maybe I can throw a normal and follow behind that, like stand medium punch. Or I can throw a light fireball and walk up behind that or something, right? And you start to, I mean, we're all clever. Like, we will all eventually figure things out. So when you start, just get a general game plan. Like, all right, I want to knock them down, go for my bread and butter, right? You have practice the sequences that are involved in that game plan, just those actions, right? So practice your bread and butter, and then practice doing something after you knock them down with the Tatsu. And then think, okay, how can I get into this situation? And that's going to be your neutral for your game plan. And then once you figure out, like, all right, so I walk up a little bit, maybe I jump or whatever, you have your neutral for your game plan. And then you can start thinking like, oh, well, what if they counter my walking? And then you're developing more and more advanced strategies. And it all starts with this simple game plan that's just like one sequence and one idea. So I want to hit my target combo and knock them down to hit my target combo again. And then you practice doing the target combo, practice knocking them down, practicing them again, right? So I would say it looks like Mika has a game plan. Mika has some sequences, and Mika has a plan. And it looks like Ken is just reacting to the situation. That's my general observation, right? Okay, so let's go back to the very beginning. Okay, so Ken backs up. Ken backs up, right? We talked about this a little bit earlier, but backdashing at the start of the round just loses you space and makes it good for them, right? So let's look at what we can do at the very start of the round. Okay, round start. Mika can't touch you. There's nothing she can't even slide attack you to reach you. right? What's Mika gonna do? Nothing, right? So we don't really need to evade as much as a backdash, right? We don't need to go that far away. And the backdash makes us lose control of our character temporarily, right? Because we get stuck in it. So wouldn't it be better, like, okay, I want to make a little bit of space, but I still want to be able to defend. Why don't you just walk backwards? Because if we just walk backwards, we can still block. If Mika does something, we can respond with a punish or a poke or something like that. We're still in full control if we just walk backwards at round start, right? We don't have to take a risk. Like, we're not throwing a fireball or doing anything. And when we walk backwards, excuse me, if we walk backwards at round start, we can still react to everything. But when we backdash, we're committed to backdashing. So we backdash twice at the start here. We're basically almost in the corner. We're one situation away from the corner now, right? So backdashing here really puts us in a bad spot. But if we had just walked backwards, we would have much more control over the situation. And all the meanwhile, you know, we can see what Mika's doing. Mika just walks forward. Real casual. So I think this was an attempt at a fireball, right? I'm not sure. It could have been an uppercut. The uppercut in this matchup is not only for anti-air, but you can uppercut her charged hard kick on reaction. To uppercut here, I think is pretty uninformed because we don't even know what Mika's going to do. The only thing he did is walk forward. We didn't see him hard kick or jump. So if this, I wouldn't disagree if this was a fireball here. Like, that could have been a fireball, but to uppercut there is just risky. I mean, what's it going to get us, right? If we hit him, we'll knock him down, but also we take a risk of, like, losing half our health bar, and we're already almost in the corner. So big punish. Mika could have got a better combo there. She could have got a crush counter combo, but she got a combo, so that's all right. Now we're in the corner. This is really hard to deal with, right? Mika has us in the corner. We attempt to jump out. Excellent anti-air. You see how Mika walked back here, right? This is the classic. This is a classic trap. Your opponent or you can put the opponent in the corner and take a slight step back, just about one training mode square away. Most characters, unless they have like Ryu Tatsu or Ken Tatsu, cannot jump out. If they try to jump out, you are in perfect position for anti-airing them, right? So if you see your opponent in the corner and they don't continue to walk forward, if they walk back, they are most likely looking for a jump, right? They're probably really anticipating a jump. Right? So Mika right here, she's setting up to anti-air, right? So it looks like Mika's plan is generally just to cage Ken in the corner, right? And Ken goes for it. Boom, she's set up to AA. She was already in position. She preemptively moved that distance. Whether or not she did it on purpose, we'll find out. But if you see someone do that, you never, ever want to jump, because this puts them in position, and this is like a tell. It's like, okay, you're going to try to hold me here. You're not going to try to rush me down yet. You're just going to hold me here because I can't manipulate space and you can, right? So the counter to this, right? Like, well, how do I get out of the corner? They can smack me with normals. I can't do anything. I can't jump. The counter to this is to be bold and confidently walk forward, right? When someone puts you in the corner and you see them step back, walk forward. Just walk forward with them, right? And if they throw a normal, you got to try to react by blocking. But do not jump, because she's setting up to anti-air you. Everyone does this. You can even watch games with professional players, and they do this. They'll get the guy in the corner, take a slight step back to space themselves so they can anti-air and threaten normals. And if the guy jumps, they're already set up ahead of time. So the counter to this is to just take a tiny step forward, and then you really have to play footsies with them, right? You really take a tiny step forward, and let's just say theoretically, if Ken took a step forward, what would he get, right? Okay, so you take a step forward, you have a chance to touch Mika on block. Okay, you're in neutral. You're still both neutral if Ken walked forward a little bit. You have a chance to touch him on block. If you do that, you can possibly push your way further out of the corner, right? By maybe you could do a fireball at a safe distance. If you had EX, it'd be really good because you could push her really far back and be safe. Mika has a chance to touch Ken on block, but that also gives Ken the chance to get his turn back because Mika could end up being minus, right? So we get a lot of opportunity from walking forward in this situation. And that is the direct counter to this anti-air setup. Basically, he's setting up to anti-air and hold Ken in the corner, right? At this distance, he can threaten a walk-up normal attack, which Ken cannot easily defend because Ken cannot space himself, right? So Ken has to either very accurately counterpoke the walk-up attack with like perfect timing, or do nothing, right? And Mika is also set up to threaten an anti-air because if Ken jumps at this distance, Mika can AA him, right? So the answer to this is when they walk back, you have to be confident and walk forward a little bit, right? Just walk yourself out of the corner. A lot of the time, opponents will just walk further back, right? Because they don't want to deal with that tough situation. They don't want to deal with, oh, I can hit him and he can hit me. I'm in his strong distance. He's in my strong distance. Oh, what do we do? I don't know the timing of when to hit a normal. I'm just going to walk back. That's what a lot of people do. So common setup, answer is walk forward. Jumping here, not very strong because you're going to get AA'd. She's set up for it, right? Even if you do Hurricane Kick and she goes to this distance, she can still AA you. Okay, so this is a mix-up. These are just tough to deal with. We just get hit. The method to getting better at defending those is just to see more of them. This comes with hours and hours of playing to be able to defend mix-ups and block, right? So we could have blocked that, but it's tough. Okay, here's another mix-up. Okay, we're blocking. This is good. Also not bad. There it is again. You saw that? Let's go back. This tells us what Mika's game plan is. For certain now, her game plan is just to hold Ken in the corner and chill. Because she pushed herself away, right? What's she do? She does a little wiggle. She just does a little walk, right? And she's blocking again, right? She's just wiggling. She didn't intentionally block this sweep. She didn't react to sweep or anything like that. She's just maintaining a distance where she can hold Ken in the corner and try to take advantage of his attempts to escape, right? So I can say with pretty good confidence that Mika was going to walk back to that anti-air distance again, right? He's got a simple game plan. He's taking his steps to execute it. Ken goes for the sweep. The advantage of Mika walking back here is that he's already prepared to block. He starts to see the sweep come in. He blocks it. Attempted punish. That's a good attempt, but messes up. Ken gets away with murder here. Again, in this situation, the answer is to very confidently yet cautiously walk your way out of the corner. Just wait for them to walk back. Wait for them to give you a little bit of space. And then when they can't hit you, right, you watch them walk backwards. When they're out of their normal range, you walk up again. Walk up and wait for them to be out of their normal range and walk up again. That's how you get out of this type of trap. Ken goes for the sweep again. Roundhouse. It looks like Ken here is just swinging for the fences, right? It doesn't seem like Ken is going for much other than to just touch Mika for some reason. You got to think like, okay, if I hit a sweep, I get to get out of the corner. That's not bad. What happens if I hit a roundhouse? Like, what do I get from this, right? Something I would like to see from Ken here is not only a little bit of forward movement but maybe try to touch her with a buffered normal, like low forward, like low medium kick, or standing medium punch into a fireball or something, right? Big whiff. Mika dashes for the throw. Okay, mix up city. Went for a regular throw, mix up city again. Okay, we went for a throw again, not bad. The back throw is a good decision here. This is a good decision. Whenever your back is to the wall, you want to back throw your opponent, right? This is the right decision to make here. So Ken makes the right decision. Now he's in control. The situation is entirely reversed off of that one back throw. And Ken gets a meaty attack. So in this situation where Ken gets this back throw, right now he can do a meaty attack. You have to manually time it, and it's a little bit tricky, but the corner makes throws dangerous, and this back throw was really good, right? If you want to throw or tech, make it a back throw, because if it puts them in the corner, it totally turns the tide of battle. Excuse me. So this was a great decision. Well, a great decision in the fact that it was a back throw, right? To throw there is neither here nor there. I think Ken had to do something. Okay, so he gets a meaty attempt, but he chooses to jump. Basically, this jump, not only do I believe this jump to be ill-informed, because Mika has consistently anti-aired us before, right? We jumped that one time, he anti-aired. I mean, we could test it again, I guess, right? But why would we give up an advantage situation to go into a situation that's not guaranteed, right? After we back throw her, we can time a meaty attack. And then if we touch her on block, right, we get to have plus frames. Off of our plus frames, we can threaten a walk-up grab, we can threaten a frame trap, or we can threaten a shimmy, right? A throw bait. So we have 3 mix-ups off of our plus frames. And we get to do that multiple times. Pretty much every time we touch Mika on block, just like we were talking about earlier when we watched Ken versus Birdie, we have tons of opportunities to create pressure and damage, and that's all forfeited by jumping here, right? Neutral jumping on your opponent's wake up is super risky and not at all guaranteed, right? So let's see. Mika goes for the anti-air. You see I'm pointing at my monitor. You see the down medium punch? That means Mika was ready for this, right? It worked for us, but what should you have meatied with? You can use down medium punch, standing light punch. You can use standing hard punch. It'll make you minus, though. In that situation, after back throw, Ken is plus 10, I believe. Let's look at the let's look at the old Ken guide. We'll find out. Let's look. Go back to the top. Actually, no. We just need our frame data here. We're already at the frame data section. Where's the throw? Okay, forward, back throw. Recovery 17 on block, knocks down. What is our knockdown advantage? Ken is plus 11. Okay, so Ken is plus 11, which means you can meaty with anything that has active frames to be 11. Most of the time you will manually time this, right? So you back throw your plus 11, right? So you can wait 1 frame and do standing hard punch. You can wait 3 frames and do standing medium. You can do down medium. It's just manually timed, right? So you can pretty much choose any button you want because you're plus 11 and you're right next to them. So you just have to practice the timing. It's really easy. It's not as hard as it sounds. Just load up training mode and go for back throw down medium punch. Like set the dummy to do wake up jab and then put them in the corner, just back throw them and go for down medium punch. And you'll get the timing really fast. It's a little tricky, but it's not that bad. So we could go for a guaranteed meaty here. This even though this jump works, it's not at all guaranteed. Okay. Combo. Ah, we jump again. We didn't finish our combo. We just jumped. That's basically the first situation again, is we had guaranteed damage. We could have just done target combo into uppercut, or target combo into fireball into uppercut there, or anything. But we stopped the combo again to jump, right? So you gotta ask yourself, what purpose does this jump serve, right? So you gotta say, all right, I was hitting my opponent. I could have cashed out. I could have taken the damage and finished my combo to get another guaranteed Okazeme situation, right? Well, even if you're worried about pushback, you didn't hit them with counter hit medium punch, right? So let's look at this situation. The heavy punch hits high and it counter hits her down medium, right? Now Ken, no matter what you do, your target combo will not miss. Because the only time the target combo will miss is if you're already kind of far away and you counter hit a specific jab from certain characters. So this will go into target combo. Or if you're cautious, you could always do standing light kick, right? That will work as well. So this jump here, it basically, we just abandoned a free combo. There's a lot of chance for damage here. We have big damage potential, not only because we have our V trigger and EX bars, but because we're in the corner and Ken gets good corner combos. So we jump again. Mika anti-airs us. Not only do we jump into the corner, right? So we got to ask ourselves, what advantage are we going to get out of this situation? So if I go for this forward jump, right? If I go for this forward jump, what could it give me? Well, I could cross her up and go for a big combo, right? But if she blocks it, if she blocks or anti-airs me or dashes under me, I get put in the corner again. And we know that it's hard to fight Mika from the corner because we were just in the corner, right? And that's where Mika was doing really good. So this Mika hits a really good anti-air here, and we jump ourselves into the corner. So basically, we took all of this risk. We took all of this big risk for not very much reward. I mean, it happens, you know, like it. You don't need to, don't be too hard on yourself. You know what I mean? So if we go back, right? Let's go back here. We get our back throw. Okay, now we have a guaranteed opportunity for a meaty and a mix-up. This is guaranteed advantageous situation for us. But we throw it away. So we go for the jump. We go for the opportunity, right? And in this situation, given the positioning advantage we have, and given the damage potential of Ken in the corner, this jump is not really more rewarding than staying on the ground, right? Because this jump sacrifices our position, it sacrifices our meaty opportunity, and it would be hard to tell that Mika can anti-air here. You got to test sometimes, but I mean, our health is so low that we can't really afford to take the risk of even taking one anti-air, right? So it works. We get our jump. Now we have a big combo. This needs to cash out to make that jump worth it. That's why we jump. We jump because it has big reward, and it has big risk, right? So we took all that risk. Now we need to cash this out. We get a combo here, but we just drop our combo. We choose to jump, right? So, all right, we jump again into the corner. We take another big risk. This time, Mika anti-airs us, right? And we take even more risk than before because we jump into the corner, right? Which is really bad for our positioning and really hard to fight Mika. So this jump was actually a lot less rewarding because even if we had jumped in the corner and hit her with our cross-up medium kick, we would have pushed her mid-screen and given up all that advantage we got by that back throw. So this is just a tough decision. Mix up, okay? Okay. So this DP, let's go back. Let's talk about this defending here. Okay. So you jump into the corner, make it anti-airs. It's hard to tell where she will end up. Right? This is just a tough choice. Mika, you see she even turns around, right? Here you get air reset. Mika gets effectively a meaty attack. This is a meaty attack, right? This hits meaty. So you get caught doing down. What do you get caught doing? Down medium punch? Maybe just not blocking. You're definitely going for a throw here, I think, right? When you defend this type of situation, you want to delay tech because you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to flip out. They're going to hit you. And then maybe they'll go for a grab mix-up. Maybe they'll go for a frame trap. But if they go for a throw right away, if you time your delayed tech properly, you should be able to deal with the throw and still block their meaty normal, right? So for them to open you up, then they'd have to intentionally bait your delayed tech, which is like kind of difficult to do. So in this situation, to defend this air reset, I would recommend just focus on blocking right away and then doing a quite delayed tech. So Mika gets a good combo here. Okay, so he goes for the microphone, and the microphone can, in fact, be countered by uppercut. So this uppercut here is not a terrible... Oh, the microphone doesn't even hit. So if you had done, like, EX or something here, right? Yeah. You can go through the microphone here. So that's not a bad choice. Activation raw. I don't agree with this. Not only because this is unsafe, like Mika could just throw out a move and hit us. Right? Mika didn't need to activate. Mika could have just done like stand medium kick or stand medium punch, and we would have got smacked in the face. Ken could have died right there. Right? I also disagree with that because Ken's V trigger is not very good once it's on, unless you're comboing them, right? So the main power of V trigger is the activation on block, which gives you a powerful mix-up. It's a great pressure tool. So to just pop it in neutral, basically waste it. The part we're worried about, the good part, is the activation on block. We're not really worried about enhanced fireball, enhanced Tatsu, or whatever. Those are all for combos. The best part about this V trigger is activating it on block because you get that big mix-up. So Mika just kind of chooses wrong, right? He goes for a mix-up here. This is not a bad block. Good blocking. But then we get smacked. That's just tough, you know. It's hard to block everything. Sure. Okay, not bad, but let's go back. This move is minus on block. So here we need to take our turn back, right? It pushes back quite far, and when I say take your turn back, when you take your turn back, it doesn't always mean you do a normal attack or a move. You can walk away, you can walk forward, right? They are locked into animation and you're not. So there's 6 frames where you can take an action and she can't. So there's definitely something you can choose to do here. And take your turn back to get you into a better position. Okay, so here's a big jump. No anti-air, but Mika is ready. Mika's ready for Okay, not a bad buffer either. Mika walks back, charge. This charge hard kick was hard to react to, but just as a note, those are reactable with uppercut. Okay, so we're in the corner again. Big meaty EXDP attempt, I think. Okay, mix up again. Just tough to block. Tough to block. Looks like we were buffering DP there. We got caught holding neutral. And then Mika goes for the big finish combo. So after watching this replay, the main tips I would have for Ken is to first try to come up with a game plan, an overall game plan, right? Have an idea of what you want to do. You need an objective, right? So the game plan can be anything you want, but just go into the match with, okay, I'm going to do this. This is how I'm gonna play this, right? Go into the match with that game plan on deck. And then the second thing I would recommend for Ken is to just get some combos down, like sequences, and just do those over and over, right? We don't need to have like crazy for each character, not even as far as the game plan goes, just a general game plan. Just, it doesn't matter versus what character or anything, just come up with something you want to do. Like, okay, I want to use fireball, uppercut, or I want to land target combo into this, right? Just a general game plan, a stated objective, and that will help out so much if you just focus on doing that objective. And when I say combos, I mean not combos in training mode. I mean a sequence, right? So for example, you can do target combo into Tatsu, right? And then you can go for target combo again. See what I'm saying? Like a combo and then after the combo, right? So a sequence of actions is what I would recommend. So just it can be anything you want, but as a simple example, right, we could do this, and now we're close again, and then we can just keep doing it, right? We can just, all right, this is my sequence, all right? This is my combo, this is my sequence. If they block this, right? Say you knock them down and they block it, come up with a sequence right there. So if that happens, if I can't go back into my combo, maybe I'll go for throw, right? And that's as simple as it needs to be, right? Just a sequence, just some sets of actions, right? So say, okay, I'm gonna go for my combo, and if it hits, I'm gonna go for my combo again, right? If it doesn't hit, if they block it, I'm gonna go for a throw or something else, right? You may have a set of sequences, and use those to build your game plan, right? So do the combo you know how to do, right? Like this or something, and then okay, they blocked it, I'm gonna go for throw, and then I'm gonna go for my combo again. If it hits, I'm gonna go for it again, and if they block it, I'm gonna throw, right? That's a very basic set of sequences, and that makes up my game plan. So my game plan in this example is to hit this target combo, right? Just to be able to hit this first part, because then I can confirm them into blocking or not, right? So if I confirm, I get to do this, and then if they block, oh, okay, I get to go for my throw. So how do I get into this situation? All right, well, I can walk up, or I can dash, or I can jump at them, so I can try building this up. So I would pick walking up, right? Because this is pretty safe. So I can just walk up behind my jab, right? And then if it hits them, I can confirm. And then this, hey, wait a minute. If I walk up behind my jab and I get them scared to press a button, I can walk up and throw them as a tick throw. Oh man, okay, so this part of my game plan just evolved out of me picking that simple option. And then, hey, wait a minute. If they start teching my throws, I can just jab and walk backwards, and now I can shimmy them, and I can go into my combo again off of a shimmy, right? See how by picking a simple option, a simple set of sequences, your game plan starts to fall into place, and it can grow and get more advanced and comprehensive, right? That is probably the most important thing to gaining like confidence really playing the game, is to just have simple game plans. And that whole thing just started from me saying, okay, I'm just gonna land this target combo, and if they block it, I'm gonna go for throw. And that can evolve, and that will naturally come to you. That will everything, all the complicated footsies he knows that I know, that this whiff punish, that this frame data, blah 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 blah, all of that will fall into place if you start with a simple game plan. Just pick 1 or 2 sequences you like, right? And what I mean by sequences is just like a set of actions, right? So an example sequence I have here is, okay, if this hits, I go for it again when I knock them down. And if it doesn't hit, I go for throw. And then I go for this again, right? That's an example of a sequence. And then start stacking your sequences together, and they build your game plan. Those are the 2 main things I'd recommend there. So make a game plan, right? It could be anything you want. Just make a game plan, and then I'd recommend. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I just had a brain moment. Basic game plan and confirming the combos. That's just basically it. I hope that was helpful. Hope that could be of some use. Excuse me. Okay, we have another replay here we'll look at. Okay, let's look at this next replay. 4C. Yeah, we got it. E-hander. Okay. All right, Honda. Henry, you can hear. Now, but like I was saying just a moment before, picking V-trigger is really important because it's part of your overall game, right? So deciding what we're gonna do versus Honda before the match even starts is like really, really important. Okay, let's watch it once just to get an idea of what happens. 2. 4. Well, Honda is basically opening himself up here. Oh man, we're getting a little wild there. Honda's going crazy. Ken is under control here. Nice. So this replay is Ken is much more put together here, right? Ken is basically waiting, chilling, reacting, letting Honda kill himself. Okay, there's a punish there. Okay, Shinryuken, the rare anti-air. Nice back throw. Good. Jump. We're jumping. That was much more controlled than the last replay. That was really good. What does Honda do next? Well, he's just going for stuff. So this is like a reverse, right? Like it seems like Honda doesn't have an idea what to do, but Ken does, right? Ken has a good idea of what Ken has generally an idea of what he wants to be doing, but Honda doesn't. So Honda's just throwing stuff out, right? Honda's just hoping that Ken dies. That's basically what it looks like. Honda's just hoping Ken takes damage, and Ken is like, all right, I'm just gonna wait for Honda to hurt himself, and I'm gonna go for my punishes, right? And nice patience. Nice. There's that tendency to go into the corner again. Nice. Good combo. Okay. Fireball attempt. Yeah, that's why Shinryuken is tough to use. Shinryuken is actually not an anti-air attack, but it worked out. So this seems all a bit more composed, right? Ken is definitely just waiting and reacting.
Round 1. Fight.
It isn't. It isn't. Shinryuken is not an AA. Okay, nice. So what I would say about this is much more put together, which is very good, right? Like this sequence right here. Okay, we don't get a punish there, right? This is what? This is not bad, right? This walk up into attempted meaty. This shows good intentions. This is not bad to do, right? You want to try to meaty them when they're down. Yeah, Shinryuken does not anti-air. Shinryuken pretty much only goes through fireballs. It's mostly used as a fireball punish. If you want to anti-air and activate Shinryuken, you have to medium uppercut first. Okay. I would say on these combos, these can be comboed into heavy hurricane kick, right? So right here, we want to combo into heavy hurricane kick. You usually don't want to combo into fireball unless you're activating V-trigger or they're in the corner, because you get some special juggles off of fireball. So here, one thing I would recommend is ending the combo with heavy hurricane kick or heavy uppercut, depending on how you're feeling. They both have different advantages and disadvantages, but they do the same damage. So there's a lot of damage on the table we could have got by using our other specials. Okay, chillin'. Not bad. We want to be careful not to walk ourselves to the corner, though. You can block and not walk backwards, right? Okay, good punish. I like the meaty. Like that. Nice. Really good. Okay, we're chilling. There's a jump there. Do we need to jump? That's the thing. One of the more, I guess, it's a fundamental concept, but it gets more and more advanced as you get more and more experience, is only doing the minimum required, right? So think of it this way. We have a bag of tricks, right? We have this big bag of tricks under our, in our possession. And every time we take a trick out, we can use it on the opponent, right? Eventually, the opponent will see all of our tricks, and eventually we'll run out of tricks, right? So we only want to use the ones that we're confident will work, and we don't want to run out of all of them, right? Because we'll run out of ammo. So we want to be pretty conservative with our strategic choices here. So jumping, right? We take this risk of jumping, but for what purpose? Do we need to jump here, right? Is jumping guaranteed to work here, right? Is jumping gonna work here? I'm not so sure, right? And Honda's pretty far away, so what would we get here, right? So this jump is a little uninformed, I think, and unnecessary, because look at Honda's health, right? His health is way lower than ours. We don't need to go towards him, right? And we know we've been doing a good job punishing his headbutts, and we're not taking damage and losing neutral. So to jump at Honda here, I think, is unnecessarily risky. Not to say that jumping is always bad. Sometimes jumping is something you want to do, but in that situation, we didn't really need it, and it didn't really add anything extra to our advantages. Okay, that's a good thing. So we fireball, right? And he jumps, we're going for that uppercut. We could have got this a little bit better spaced, a little bit earlier, but it still works. This is good. Okay, so we jumped again into the corner, right? Jumping into the corner gives up all of our positional advantage, and it's not necessarily guaranteed to work. And we know that the last time we jumped, right? Let's go back to that. The last time we jumped at Honda, right? He didn't really anti-air us like crazy, but it didn't lead to any damage for us, right? So now in the future here, we got to think, okay, based on our previous experience and based on the situation at hand, is jumping gonna be good for us? Is it gonna result in a big advantage? Not necessarily, right? So I think that jump is also a little uninformed. There's a good frame trap here, but no EX Fireball at the end. After this target combo, you can end with EX Fireball to make yourself safe. Okay, Honda's going nuts. We're jumping after him, right? Again, for what purpose, right? we know that Honda's been going nuts for the past 30 seconds or so, and most of our damage has come from reacting or punishing him for going nuts. So we know where our damage is coming from. Why would we go somewhere where our damage isn't, right? We might have an idea of like, oh, okay, if I think if I jump it'll work or something like that, but we don't necessarily need to do that, right? It's this whole idea of not showing him all of our tricks at once, right? We don't need anything fancy here. Our game plan of just chilling and punishing is working great. Nice. Okay, there's a jump. We're getting away with those, but they're not really adding anything to our overall performance here. Okay, that's kind of tricky to AA. All right, this is punishable. This is very punishable in the same way that the regular ones are. Honda's new, you know, people are gonna be missing those for a while. Okay, so here's the Shinryuken as an AA. We get away with this, but this move does not anti-air. I mean, it anti-airs like a normal attack would, but it has no special AA property. Okay, that's a good back throw. Ken's back throw is really good. It puts him in the corner. Right, so we get to do something here. Overhead, not bad. But then there's a jump into the corner again, right? Okay, then after our jump, we do a couple jabs. But we know what's gonna happen. We already know what's gonna happen, right? We put in our jump. We know what's happening, right? So now we're on the ground. We pressing jab. We know the jabs are gonna come out, or we're gonna get hit or something, right? We have an idea of what's gonna happen, so we need to be ready to confirm these. Even though it's difficult, we need to try to be ready to confirm these. Anytime you press a button, you gotta be ready to confirm it on hit or block into something. It doesn't always need to be into a combo, right? It's hard. It's not easy, but you need to be able to go, okay, if I touch him, I'm gonna go for a tick throw, or if it hits, I'm gonna try back medium punch, right? So we know what we put in. We know what we're ready to expect. We got to try to be ready to expect it. And it's hard, but in a perfect world, we're all perfect players, right? So we just want to strive. We want to try to be perfect, even though we might not be able to. Keep trying to be better and better and better, right? And then we jump into the corner again. I have to ask, like, we got to ask questions. What does this jumping add? What does this give us, right, based on what we have? Let's go. Okay, so we're just walking around. We're walking backwards a lot. No problem. There's a punish attempt we didn't take. We just jumped, right? Gotta ask again, what does that jumping give us when we had the opportunity for a punish, right? Okay, just chilling. At this far distance, we could throw some fireball, but it's not necessary, so we're not worried about it. Nice. We could have optimized that a little bit better, but that's better than nothing. We just missed our meaty. That's just a tough practice thing. Okay, chilling. I like how chilling we are. We're not going crazy, but then we go crazy again, right? We put ourselves into the corner. Okay, nice. Nice. Super. We get the super. Anda just raw activates, okay? All we got to do is chill. Anda has to do something really big to get us into KO, right? Because he's only got 1 touch of health left. We're fully stocked. Excuse me. We're not fully stocked. We have a lot of health. He's fully stocked, but he's only got 1 touch. So we got to be ready and expecting him to do something. Right here, he gave the game away. You could uppercut. You could have regular uppercut this and killed him. But Shinryuken, it doesn't A. The attempt is there, though. The idea is good, but just the execution is a little bit lacking there. Overall, that was much stronger of a performance than fighting against the Mika, because it looked like you had a generally an idea of what you wanted to do. Excuse me. Anda didn't look like he knew what he was going to do, right? And that's the power of having a simple game plan, right? If you have a simple idea of what you want to do, everything else falls into place and it becomes so much easier, right? I hope that could help. I hope that was all right. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back in maybe 5 or so minutes. Yeah, if you've been sitting down for a long time, get up and do a little bit of wiggle. Your health is mad important. It's not really healthy to sit down for a super long time. I've almost been sitting down for like 3 hours. So, we'll see. Anyway, right back. Thanks for hanging out. All right, we are back. It's good. How's everybody hanging out? Thanks for the replays. Yeah. Excuse me. Could be microphone stand. Microphone stand has been like loosening itself somehow. It's been loosening itself, and I have to constantly like retighten it. I guess you get what you pay for, huh? I don't even know. I don't even know. Put on automatic, that's not what I want to ask. Seat here. And with the seat adjust. Alright. Man, this song is so good. I like this remix of this song. Wow, it's so bright. Thanks. Glad to help. It's what I'm here to do.